NANI?!
Yo, and welcome to Shooting the Soil, the channel where we shoot the soil with the camera through the microscope and share our experience with all you guys and talk about regenerative soil. So today we got we're doing Microscopy May every week, 6 o'clock Thursday. We're going to be just hanging out and talking regenerative soil and talking microscopy, looking at a different bed in my garden every week. So, yeah, this week we're looking at my strawberry bed. And before we scan around here, we'll go over and just give you a quick tour. So the bed on the left here with the walking onions, and we got some tomatoes, some peppers, some dragon beans, and a couple more peppers, some sweet peas that are going to be growing up the back there. But over here is what we're going to scope the soil today, is my strawberries. And yeah, these are the newer ones over here in this end, kind of replacing the old ones. This is probably my most native soil, I would say, least done things by me anyway. Garlic and asparagus growing there in the bed as well. But look how many strawberries I got over here. This is a second year strawberry plant that is definitely thriving. Anyway, and we also got a carrot stuck in here. Look at this thing. It's kind of a volunteer carrot. I planted carrots that didn't do so well, and then all of a sudden this year, voila. Anyway, over to the microscope. Yeah, feel free to say hello and where you guys are from. What are you excited about growing this year? Could be something new, or could be something that you've grown in the past that you really like. Hey, Cecilia from West Australia. Awesome to have you here. Anyway, right now we're scanning at 100x. And yeah, as usual, and to be expected with the regenerative practices, we're seeing a lot of nice big aggregates in there. Those are the big brown chunks I'm talking about. That's always one of the first things I like to look at when judging a soil is, yeah, and that equals that nice spongy soil is all these clumps of bacteria and biology, like I'm already saying. And with the fungi making a web through them, forming those symbiotic relationships, the roots, and just basically extending your roots. Yeah, we can see, yeah, we can zoom in, do a little digital zoom here so you guys can all see what I'm talking about. Right here, we're at 4x digital zoom. And yeah, that aggregate being tied together by a whole bunch of fungi. Most likely saprophytic fungi by the looks of that. There, we'll go back out to stock 100x. And we're just kind of going to give a scan around and see if we can find any big microorganisms at first. See if we can find a nematode or a rotifer, maybe a ciliate. It's very wet here in Massachusetts. On the south coast of Massachusetts, I would say growing zone 7 since I'm so close to the shore. And yeah, I'm pretty excited for my growing a new variety of sweet pea that I have on that angled trellis in the other bed. So other than the strawberries that I'm super excited that I should have pretty soon. Yeah, super excited for the sweet peas. I love things in the garden that you can just go through and forage. Like grab the sweet peas right off and snap right into them. Looking at this piece of fungi over here. And then the strawberries. That's my favorite plants. I like to just go in the garden and forage every once in a while throughout the day. So yeah, we'll go into 2x. Yeah, we can even go in 4x. See some more fungal hyphae. Back out. We'll scan around. But yeah, anyway, my name is Matt. I'm I'm just a garden enthusiast slash citizen scientist with a certification in regenerative soil from Matt Powers. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Just had a good interview on Garden Like a Viking. I put the link to that, if you haven't seen it, in the description. Plus the that bed that was on the left of my earlier video. I did that last week under the microscope. Seeing a lot of these cool looking things, but anyway, that link's in the description too. But now back to the cool looking things with the polarizer. Kind of changes the light of and the things I mean sand. And here, if we turn the polarizer just right, it gives us a very interesting dark field effect. There's a polarizer up in the camera, and then another one under the light source. And we twist them just right. Yeah, just this little thing. It's pretty neat. Showed you guys this last week too. But now you can see all those little bits of sand refracting light and whatnot. And we just twist it back to normal bright field. Alright, so we'll continue our 100x scan. See some more fungal hyphae right there. Yeah, they all look pretty uniform, even though they're clear. A lot of clear fungi could be young fungi. It's funny how the more I get into it, the more different, even the same species can look totally different throughout its life. So, a bunch of really interesting looking, very straight. We could even be looking at like these. Let me grab my pointer here and point out these very straight looking. Could even be insect parts. I'm not even sure if that's fungi. Yeah, we'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can get a better look. Yeah, it's very interesting. These little nodules there inside. Never know what you might find. Look at under the microscope. You see something new and interesting just about every time. But like, so this is something else. So that's like fungal hyphae. But these straight things, this is a different type of fungal hyphae going up here, more orange one. But the straight things might be insect parts, or might be something else. Might be just a third type of fungi. Very interesting. Right, we'll go back out to stock 100x. See if we can find anything else cool. Get a little bit more focus. There we go. We'll go into 400x here in just a moment. Oh, we just hit the bottom of the slide. And then we'll start seeing bacteria. Right now, we're just kind of zoomed out at 100x. Just kind of get an overall look at everything. We see some more nice fungal hyphae there, growing in and out of that aggregate. You know, what you would expect for a nice healthy soil. Still room for improvement. Could use some more fungal hyphae, but I'm seeing a lot. Especially little bits here and there. Hoping to see amoebas. I always like to think of amoebas as being one of the top indicators. This definitely looks like a nematode, not moving, maybe dead. Yeah, we'll go in all the way at 4x. Go over here. But yeah, that was definitely a nematode. You can see whatever he was eating in that lower half. And then his mouth is up at the top. But it does not look alive anymore. Looks like this guy served this purpose and is going to be recycled back into the energy of the soil. Alright, zoom back out to stock 100. Yeah. See bits and pieces of organic matter, some more sand, some more fungal hyphae. Oh yeah, a whole bunch of fungal hyphae over there. Actually better than the bed that we looked at last week for fungal hyphae so far. Yeah, big chunk of organic matter. Decomposing root. Or another part of a plant. See if that might be a little nematode, but no, just a little snaky thing not moving. Yeah, sort of poking through, but I guess we should not running into any big microorganisms. It's super wet out. It's been raining. It probably rained 2 inches in the last 8 hours or so. But just kind of getting a feel for the overall health, documenting it for the beginning of the season, seeing what we might need to add. But overall, I think it's good, especially with these strawberries and everything else that's growing in there. Everything seems to be quite healthy. I was actually going to do a video and scope out this biofos that I was recommended. It's from Build the Soil. And actually click on the epi-florescent light and see what we can see phosphorizing. It's just sort of a granular organic slow release form of phosphorus to add to the plants. Anything I add, I always like to be slow release. Anything water soluble always has to be chelated to something, and I see a whole lot of like these little tiny bits like that with too much water soluble end up getting built up and under the microscope, and I want to see those nice big aggregates forming. And it's just sort of a neutral junk, doesn't really help out anything. The essentially a salt, as far as not table salt, but just a salt as meaning that it's just a neutral, negative, empty, little tiny piece of something in there. And over time they build up, which I don't feel is a great thing for your soil. And one of the main causes is that if you're like doing a pot and you get great results for the first couple of years adding the nice organic bottled nutrient fertilizer to it, but then after that it just doesn't work out anymore. And I think it's because those just neutral salts built up in that pot over time, and then you got to replace your soil. So I like adding the composts and the more, aminos and more reduced forms of nitrogen and slow release granular and stuff like that. Seems to build a healthier soil, especially when you look at it under the microscope from my perspective. But yeah, over here we're getting really busy on the slide. A whole bunch of big aggregates. I am really liking the soil structure. And yeah, we've been scanning around a while. We found a little piece of a root, so why don't we go to Epi and see what we see inside of this root. So we We just turned on the epi light, and now we're going to turn down the bottom light. Just got to now readjust the settings on my camera. Oh. My phone disconnected. I could adjust some settings on here right now. Let's just do that. Well, we're waiting for that to connect. And so now we're starting to see a little bit of glow, but I can dial in a little bit more here in just a second. Let's go down to about that. Yeah, turn the backlight off fully. Oh, come on, phone. My phone's not connected. All right, well, we can do it all on here. Sorry for me shaking the camera. That's why I wanted to use my phone so it didn't shake. So yeah, now when we turn the ISO up, we start to see, might need to go into 400, but everything glowing here is because it's phosphorizing. This narrow wavelength makes, and it's a good way to see mycorrhizae actually move phosphorus and inoculate your roots. So it's a really cool way that we could look at things. I wasn't seeing too much bright, but yeah, that's probably everything glowing super bright. That's probably just a little bit of phosphorus or compound little piece of sand with a decent amount of phosphorus in it. It's not a very small root. Could go into, let's actually click into 400x. Oh yeah. So now with the 400x objective, or the 40x, now we could look at this root a lot better. Oh yeah, we're seeing a little bit. Yeah, we can almost see the little fungal hyphae strands sticking out of there. There's definitely some glow. Right about, let me zoom in on that for you guys. Let's go in 2x. Oh. Yeah, right in here. That's what mycorrhizae looks like in a root. So it's just super cool having the LW Scientific to be able to look at roots like this. Just a way to see if your inoculant is doing something for you. Let's go up here, take a quick look at this. Oh yeah, right through here. And the mycorrhizae will grow in a square-like pattern just with the roots because it grows right inside. So right there, yeah, I can kind of see it. Glowing as it grows in like a square rectangle like web pattern through the root. And in between all the plant cells. Yeah, we can see the root hairs, or might even be fungi, growing in and out of that root right there. Yeah, we'll go up and so here's just some organic matter here. Breaking down and decomposing into the soil. Give that a quick look. Yeah, well, actually, jump back out to without digital zoom. But yeah, a whole bunch of phosphorus in there. Can actually see a little bit of bacteria wiggling around. Found something else glowing super bright. Yeah, but it's pretty interesting what you can do with the epi light. Oh, that's the edge of the slide. Just a whole nother way of looking at things. Oh, we're back to that root. Alright, well, let's actually switch back over to bright field. Yeah, let me actually adjust my settings first so I don't blind everybody. Let's go back down to that. Put my light up. Now we'll turn on the bottom light. Turn the brightness up. Put the epi light off. Yeah, let's scan around a little bit at 400x magnification. Oh yeah, whole lot of little wiggling bacteria down there. What do we got our light set at? I'm gonna adjust the aperture too. Yeah, I think we want to be right about there, and maybe just a little bit more light. How's that looking? That's looking pretty good. Yep. Definitely a whole lot of bacteria in this bed. Very densely populated down there. Okay, we'll do a quick 2x magnification. Just go in and out of focus a little bit. But yeah, got a bunch of shapes and sizes. Yeah, well, 4x magnification, and yeah, now you can really see just how much motion and bacteria. We're looking at such a tiny little piece, and this is just going on throughout our whole garden bed. Actually, looking at, oh, it's so hard to adjust the scope. Yep. Just looking at a couple of those clusters of bacteria moving around. Yeah, we'll go back to, now we're in 2x digital zoom. And I'm just going to do a little bit more scanning around. Getting a pretty good, base point of health. Oh, look, we found a diatom. It's half covered up by the aggregate. Yeah, let's go into 400x. Diatoms always look super cool under the microscope. It's actually, the light's bending a lot around. I'm getting this effect because the light in the water from that big chunk of aggregate is bending quite a bit of light. And we're way zoomed in. Here's stock 400x. You can see how everything around anything big can kind of bend, since we are looking through a very thin amount of water. Alright, let's see what else cool looking we can find. Yeah, I was wondering, because it's so rainy out, and I literally had to go out in the rain and get wet and take the sample before we started, because the rain has not let up all day. Or fungal hyphae. But anyway, yeah, I was wondering if that would cause more organisms. Are they going to go down? Or some going to come up? But it's pretty wet out there. Cool looking clear fungal hyphae. Interesting little cluster right there. Got biology working on breaking everything down. It's what gets you to the higher levels of the plant health pyramid. It's John Kemp's plant health pyramid is yep. Unlike the food pyramid, the plant pyramid is very informative. Pretty much starts at complete photosynthesis, and that's a level where our plants look really healthy. From there, goes on to complete protein synthesis, and then with all the biology, or what John Kemp says are robust biology, plants can start synthesizing lipids, and in the fourth and highest level of plant health, we got secondary metabolites, and bugs cannot digest or will die from both lipids and even higher bugs, secondary metabolites. So through plant health and with biology, getting exactly what they need can make your plants almost immune to insects and pretty much all pests. I've witnessed myself the biology taking out powdery mildew and all sorts of different pests. And here we got a little cluster of bacteria on whatever that large piece of sand is, breaking things down. Yeah, we can go into 4X and look at them go to town. Mining nutrients for the health of the soil and our plants. Yeah, whole lot of bacteria activity down there. Take off the digital zoom. Alright, what do we got for time here? Yeah, we still got a little bit more time. We'll scroll around. Continue just going through at 400x, see if we can find anything else cool. On the fungal hyphae. Looks like there's a fragilate right there in the middle, bumbling around. See if we can. Yeah, there he is. Looks like he might be stuck. But yeah, always good to see a couple of fragilites in the soil. More diversity, the better, I'm always saying. Yeah. It's getting very busy on this side of the slide. Whole lot of chunks of stuff. Yeah, here's where when you get these big chunks of sand is when the polarizer starts looking really cool. They're all slightly different color. Just another fun thing to play with. Alright. Everything got... I think my slide was drying out a little bit. Wow, that's a cool looking one. Pretty cool what polarizers can do. Yeah, when your slide gets this busy with this much stuff, it's kind of hard to find stuff. There could be an organism squished in here somewhere, but or under this big large thing. But we're never gonna find them. Where are we at? It's tough. It's a tough skill getting that water mixed up and dropping that slide on that one drop perfectly. On this one, everything is just kind of whooshed over to the left side where we are now. Oh. Be a diatom, or it could just be a piece of organic matter. Oh, so, the flagellate wiggling around in there, but he went under that aggregate. Can't see him anymore. Let's see. Maybe if we go a little bit more left, things will get a little unclustered. Yep, too clustered for this slide. Yeah, now we're getting back over to the where we can actually see through all the chunks. I think we scanned most of this. Fortunately, didn't come across a nematode or anything, but oh, there's finally an amoeba. Small one right there in the middle. Yeah, we'll zoom in. Yep. Do a little bit of focus. Yeah, nice looking. Testate amoeba. Zoom back out. Glad we found one of them in here. Oh, looks like we got another diatom over here. I'm right next to the water, but yep. Anytime you get a perfectly shaped square thing, it's usually a diatom. Mostly found in aquatic environments. And oh yeah, here's another interesting, kind of dark shaped amoeba up here. Yep. Another good facultative anaerobe amoebas are. It might be something right there, but it's tough. There's definitely something's on top of it. Could be another amoeba, but could just be a piece of sand, like the one next to it, just with a bunch of stuff on top. Sometimes it's tough to tell. Oh yeah. Take one more quick swing around. Anybody has any last questions or anything like that, drop them in the chat, but I think we may wrap things up here pretty soon. I think we might have stumbled across that fungal hyphae earlier. Yeah, not doing much. Not really a scientific scan, just kind of more focusing on just chatting with you guys and dodging around and trying to find cool stuff. And it's more fun looking at things up close in 400x like we are now than me just scanning around at 100x where we can't see as good. Yeah, you definitely end up stumbling back and forth unless you stick to a tight system. So to mow the lawn, as they say, go up and down the slide with the microscope and over a little bit. Yeah, nice big brown fungal hyphae there, right in the middle. And more clear, younger hyphae over here, but saprophytes doing their job. Reducing stuff for our plants. Yeah, I got a little fungal spore kind of tucked under the top of that organic matter. Very round pill-shaped one. But definitely got plenty of bacteria in this bed. As I was saying, this bed's mostly native. I think I've only added a little bit of compost. Done probably like an inch or so a year. Not much. And yeah, other than that, some inoculants. Water in some JMS every once in a while. Some compost extract. I see things looking unhealthy on the leaves. I'll spray them with an LAB, or even just EM. Sometimes if I don't have those, I'll use kombucha. That's got LAB in it. But yeah, looking at these circle things here. This is definitely an amoeba. Yeah, we can go way in at 4x digital zoom. Yeah, right there. Another amoeba. You can see his mouth on the left there. Yeah. Happy with the diversity in this bed for not doing much. Would be nice to take a sample of the roots of the strawberries to see if there's fungi in them and mycorrhizal. So I've watered in a little bit of mycogenesis from AEA. Nice example of fungi weaving around right there. Yeah, I think actually we might have even looked at that earlier, but yeah, you can faintly make out the septi, which is the cell divisions in the fungal hyphae. Yep, all different looking fungal hyphae. I like these ones where we go in at 4x digital zoom here from 400x. We can almost see stuff going on inside of that fungal hyphae. Because yeah, bacteria will actually travel into the fungal hyphae as well. And perform functions for their gut biome. It's pretty wild. Whoa! That might have just been me. Thought something might have bumped into there, but nope. I think that was just me tapping the scope. But yep. I really like looking around it. All the different bacteria. The rods. So that's bacillus shape. Another rod. That might even be a little fragilate. And anything round. The little round ones. Cocci. And Then spirilla, the snake ones. Don't see any of them. They're not too common in the soil. See them mostly in pond water. But yeah. It's when you really get down here at 400x plus the 4x digital zoom. It's pretty wild. Yeah, we could go even, but I like using the 600x, but it doesn't really get all that much better quality. It's just a little bit better than this, but you lose a little bit of focal depth. So I kind of like 400x at 4x digital zoom because you just get a little bit more focal depth. So you can focus on just a little bit more. More you zoom in, less focal depth you have. To the point where you can't even focus on a single bacteria because they're too thick. But anyway, I think that's going to wrap up this stream on the strawberry bed. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions in the comments, and please, hit those buttons if you would be so kind. I'm going to pop up some videos and those buttons and whatnot in post once YouTube lets me. And yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with the health of this bed. And yeah, moving forward throughout the year, we're going to be updating you on all these beds and what we do in the garden and do some garden tours. So yeah, definitely subscribe, and until the next video, I guess we will catch you on the flip side. Happy growing, everybody.